Some guys punch a clock, do their job and go home. That was John Jack Roby, or so everyone thought. To the shipping magnates and truckers at the port of Baltimore, he was just part of the scenery, a foreman, a guy who knew which container went where. He had a weathered face, hands like leather, and a quiet, reliable demeanor. He blended into the background, a ghost in a high-visibility vest. But cogs know how the machine works. Jack wasn't just moving boxes. He was watching, learning, and understanding every flaw in the system. He saw the river of wealth flowing through his hands, the paperwork, the security blind spots, the overworked guards. He was the guy you trusted to get the job done, no questions asked. His life was a simple rhythm: early mornings, long days, quiet evenings. He knew every longshoreman's name, their troubles, their kids. This wasn't a strategy, it was his camouflage. Nobody suspected the gears turning in his head. This isn't a story about a criminal mastermind in a suit. It's about a working man who decided to divert a small stream of money for himself. Just $15 million. The beauty of his plan. Simplicity. He would use the very system that trusted him to vanish, along with a fortune. Jack Roby, the Invisible Man, was about to become a legend. And it all started on the docks. For 20 years, Jack Roby was more than an employee. He was the port's backbone. He started at the bottom, learned every job, every code, every schedule. The port was a living creature, and Jack knew its every quirk. He earned trust through competence and consistency. Ask Jack became the answer to every problem. He saw the system's strengths and its vulnerabilities. He noticed how paperwork could be manipulated, how a signature could turn gold into scrap on paper. He mapped the flow of information, the lazy clerks, the blind security spots. He wasn't just a foreman. He was a student of human nature and bureaucratic laziness. After 2 decades, Jack was ready for his final exam. The perfect heist was set in motion. The day of the heist was just another Tuesday, overcast, busy, chaotic. Jack Roby, clipboard in hand, looked as calm as ever. He'd chosen this day for its confusion. A massive ship had just docked. The yard was swamped. The target? A single unremarkable 40-foot container. Inside, microprocessors worth $15 million. Jack had tracked it for weeks, knew its paperwork inside out. He created a phantom manifest for a fake shipment of cheap goods. With forged paperwork, he strolled to the dispatch office, handed it to a harried clerk, and got a stamp. No questions asked. A subtle change in the routing number, and the valuable container's identity was swapped with a ghost. On paper, it was still there. In reality, it was gone. He assigned a trusted driver. "Quick run downtown, Tom." The driver, paperwork in hand, drove out the main gate. No alarms, no shouts. The system worked exactly as Jack knew it would. A $15 million container vanished in plain sight. No one had a clue. Jack's plan was in motion, and the port never missed a beat. The perfect crime had just begun. The machine kept turning, unaware a piece was missing. Jack Roby had pulled off the impossible. For 2 days, no one noticed the container was gone. It was only when the real trucking company arrived that panic set in. The logs, the tapes, the paperwork, all in order. Except the container had vanished. The FBI was called in expecting a mess. Instead, they found nothing. No broken locks, no bribed guards, no digital trail. The heist was surgically clean. The container had been checked in, processed, and checked out. By the book. The agents interviewed everyone. One name kept coming up. Jack Roby, the trusted foreman, the guy who knew everything. When they went to his house, he was gone. Car in the driveway, bed made, fridge stocked, Jack had evaporated. The agents realized this was no smash and grab. It was an inside job, planned for years. The case became a bureau legend. They were used to chasing mobsters, not ghosts. Jack left no clues, no trail, no mistakes. He used his 2-day head start perfectly. While the port scrambled, Jack was already gone. The FBI had a suspect, a motive, and a crime scene with no evidence. The chase was on, but Jack was already over the horizon. The perfect crime had a perfect getaway. The legend of Jack Roby was born, and the feds were left with nothing but questions. Jack's escape was as simple as his heist. No jets, no fake passports. He took a bus, paid in cash. The FBI expected him to live large. He did the opposite. He became a nobody, traveling through small towns and truck stops, always blending in. Cheap motels, greasy diners, never staying long. The FBI searched for Jack Roby, but that man no longer existed. He used payphones, never touched his bank accounts, never contacted family. He may have used dead drops to access his money, maybe had an accomplice, but no one knows. The FBI's high-tech dragnet was useless against a man who refused to play the game. They could track cards and calls, but not a ghost who used only cash and buses. Leads popped up for years but always led to dead ends. Jack Roby outsmarted the system by being invisible. The FBI's manhunt became legendary and maddening. Wanted posters went up nationwide. Agents chased every tip. They built a profile patient, disciplined, careful. But Jack was always a step ahead, vanishing just before they arrived. He moved with uncanny timing, never making mistakes. Some thought he had a network. Others, just incredible instincts. The case file grew thicker, the trail colder. Jack became a boogeyman in the bureau, a symbol of the one that got away. The legend only grew as the years passed. What happened to the 15 million in microprocessors? The FBI expected them to hit the black market, but they never surfaced. Theories abounded. Maybe Jack had a partner to fence the goods, laundering the money in small, untraceable amounts. Or maybe the heist was about the insurance payout. The shipping company was fully insured. When the container vanished, they got paid. Some believe Jack worked with someone inside the insurance company, turning the theft into a clean, legitimate payout. The chips might have been returned or dumped, no one knows. Either way, Jack turned a single container into a fortune and left everyone guessing. The money vanished as completely as the man. The mystery remains unsolved. Decades passed, but the legend of Jack Roby never faded. In Baltimore bars, he became a folk hero, a working man who beat the system. Stories grew, he fled to South America, bought an island, or lived quietly in plain sight. By never being caught, he became a myth, not a criminal. For the FBI, the case is a lesson in humility and grudging respect. The Roby file is still a training example, the perfect crime, executed flawlessly. If he'd been caught, he'd be a footnote. Because he vanished, he became a symbol. Freedom, escape, the dream of walking away clean. Whether he lived in luxury or paranoia, no one knows. And that's exactly how Jack wanted it. What happened to Jack Roby? He was never caught. The case remains unsolved. No shootout, no confession, just a cold trail. He drove out of the port and into American folklore. He pulled off one of history's cleanest heists and vanished. All signs point to him getting away with the fortune. He likely lived out his days under a new name, a quiet neighbor, a ghost. His real reward wasn't just the money, it was the peace that followed. Jack's story is about the invisible man, the overlooked worker who saw everything. He proved you don't need a gun to steal a fortune, just a clipboard, a pen, and patience. Jack Roby was never seen again, but his legend endures for anyone who dreams of beating the system.